guys remember the original OG Michael from Love After Lockup? He married and had a baby with Sarah. He was known as the one that asked Sarah, "Is you ovulating?" And for some reason, he really was trying to get her pregnant again, fresh out of prison, even though he had another girl on the side. And he just had a baby with his current girlfriend, Maria, not even a year ago. So you would think he would be on his best behavior. But according to the Miami-Dade County Jail, they have a Facebook page where they share their mugshots. They shared that Michael was arrested just the other day for cocaine possession. The 33-year-old was booked into jail on December 12th at 5:07 p.m. He spent about a day in jail, and he was released the next day on a general release. His bond was set at $2,500, so I'm not sure if he had a bond out, but I'm assuming since it says general release that the judge just let him out until he has to come back for court. That's just what I'm assuming. And Michael is looking rough in this picture right here. Like, he's looking like the crackhead that you normally see on the corner of the street holding a street sign. Like, it looks like he has definitely been through some things since we last seen him on the show. And I just hope that this judge, like, makes him go to rehab or something so he can get it together for his children. I really wonder what his ex is up to. Last time I heard, she was dating some guy, but that was like a few years ago. It seems like since then she's been pretty quiet on social media, and it's crazy because I'm actually currently watching their season on Peacock because they just came out with all the older seasons on there, and oh my god, those were the good old days back when we had Scott and Lizzie, Michael, Sarah and Megan. Now let's talk about a couple from this season of Love During Lockup, and that is Sam and Crystal. So Sam is dating this girl named Crystal, and she is serving a 14-year prison sentence because when she was 19 years old, she got into an altercation with her husband at the time, and she decided to pull out a knife and literally jab this man in the forehead with this knife, and she was sentenced to 14 years. I feel like it had to be pretty serious for her to get a 14-year sentence, because I've heard of people like poking people before and getting 5-6 years. I feel like she probably went overboard and was really trying to hurt him as she got that long of a sentence. And so far, she has only served 7 years, and for some reason, her man Sam is so head over heels in love with her that he decided to pack up his whole life, move to another state so he can wait for his wife Crystal to get out of prison. And yes, I said wife. He married the girl knowing she still has 7 years left of her sentence. I think that is crazy because a lot can happen in 7 years. I know, like, the people I wanted 7 years ago, like, I'm so glad we're still not together or I didn't marry them, because it would have been a disaster. Like, so much can happen in 7 years, especially when you're in your 30s like Sam is. And he's not a bad looking guy. I know some people like to go really hard on people's looks, but he's not that bad looking. He has a respectable job. He works as an EMT. And before Sam came in the picture, Crystal's grandmother was having to take care of her, and her grandmother seems like the type that just is, you know, living paycheck to paycheck, or seems like she's not like rich by any means. So it's kind of hard on her to support Crystal while she was in prison, because it's just basically like supporting another child. So she was grateful once Sam came into the picture and he was willing to spend all kinds of money on Crystal. And the grandmother even pointed out that Crystal went from just getting a little money here and there to all of a sudden receiving a lot of money at once. And Sam even admitted, he's like, yeah, in the past like 2 or 3 years, I probably spent about $100,000. I'm like, damn, this dude is making good money if he's able to afford to send her that much money. What I want to see is what his place and what his car is looking like, because you better be on your P's and Q's and make sure that all your stuff's on point before you're sending that much money to a girl. Because I've seen people in the past do that, like spend all their money on girls. Meanwhile, they're living like with a roommate or living with their parents, and they can't even afford their own place, but here they are making sure that they're girlfriend or boyfriend's pretty much prison rich. And Crystal even said, like, yeah, I just got $100 last week and I pretty much spent it all on watching TV shows. There's definitely something about Sam that I can't put my finger on, though. I don't know if he has a little bit of sugar in his tank. Like, there's one comment on the show that he made that definitely made me feel that way. I can't remember exactly what it was. And then he went to go meet up with Crystal's grandma. And this is where I was like, okay, this dude, yeah, he's a little weird. Because he went to go see Crystal's grandma. He's married to Crystal, so technically Crystal's grandmother is family to him. But he was hitting on her grandma hard as hell. The grandma was like, yeah, Crystal thought that, you know, you liked me and you were trying to get with me. And he's like giggling and laughing about it. Like, oh, would you? And of course the grandma was like trying to shut it down as quickly as possible, so she was pretending she didn't hear him. And she even told the producers that when Sam first started showing up to her house, that she could tell that he was wanting a little more than just friendship or, you know, family relationship from the grandma. So it just kind of seems like he'll take whatever he can get that's in front of him for the time being. Like, if you're going to be hitting on the grandma, who else are you hitting on when Crystal's not around? But he seems to be pretty in love with Crystal. I don't know if maybe he just sees Crystal and her grandma, and that's why he's hitting on the grandma so hard. But it definitely seems like it's making the grandma feel very uncomfortable. And the way that he was just acting around the grandma in front of the cameras, I can't imagine how he acts when the cameras are not around. I guess he goes over to the grandma's house all the time. That's like his little buddy's house and where he likes to spend all his free time. He helps her with things around the house, helps put away groceries. And I bet she's like probably having him come over, do what he needs to do. And she's probably trying to send him on his way as quick as possible with the way that he acts around her sometimes. And she acts like she has tried to shut it down and not get him excited about anything, but he still kind of is acting like he feels like there might be a little bit of hope between him and the grandma. It definitely seemed like he had a spark in his eye when he was looking at the grandma. Then we find out, after he was done creeping the grandma out, that Crystal's got a big secret, and I don't know if we're going to find out about this in the next episode or what. I hope they don't drag this secret out for the whole season, but I'm definitely curious what her secret is. Let me know what you guys think. I bet she's got like a girlfriend or something. Okay, so I was doing more research into Crystal because I was trying to figure out what this girl did to get 14 years. Because like I said, her crime is pretty, you know, hardcore, but 14 years is a lot of time. And according to Sarcasm, when Crystal was originally arrested, she went to sentencing and the judge just placed her on probation for 4 years and deferred the adjudication. And 4 months after Crystal was sentenced to years on probation, which I feel like she really got off easy, being only 19 and this being like one of her first DV charges. But 4 months after she was sentenced, she was hit with multiple probation violations. She got one for possession and use of marijuana, use of PCP. She used her grandma's urine for a drug test, and she was texting the victim in the crime, which was one of the restrictions the judge put on her when she was granted orders of probation. He said you were not allowed to text the victim. Then she turned around and texted the victim. So she just showed that she really didn't care about the rules or abiding by her probation. So the judge really came down hard on her and sentenced her to a 14-year sentence when she was only 19 years old. She did have a parole hearing in October of 2024. I'm not seeing any updates after that parole hearing, so I'm assuming she did not get approved for parole. I don't know, sometimes they don't immediately update those websites though. So is in October of 2031. If I was Sam, I would have waited to see if she got approved for her parole first before rushing into marrying the girl, because it seems like it really only benefits Crystal to be married to Sam, but it really doesn't benefit Sam. I mean, I don't know, I guess it benefits him if he just is happy spending all his money on a girlfriend while she's in prison. But let me know what you guys think about these two and Michael's recent arrest in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.